What's up, everyone? So, today, we're going to compare two more compact dash cams, the Torvo TD3 and the DDPai Mini. Now, the Torvo TD3 is more of a budget-friendly option that delivers some solid performance. On the other hand, we've got the DDPai Mini, which is a smaller one that brings some good functionalities. Though both aim to keep you protected on the road, but which one actually gives you the best bang for your buck? Let's check out. We spent quite a bit of time using both the Torvo TD3 and the DDPai Mini, and honestly, the difference is noticeable when we're actually on the road. The DDPai Mini is really sleek, compact, and almost disappears behind the mirror, which we appreciated, but we did notice that the lack of a display can make it a bit tricky to check recordings on the go. Here, the Torvo TD3 felt solid, and it bridges that gap with this screen right here. Makes it easy to see what's being recorded. Now, out of the box, both cams come with more or less everything to get started with. The DDPai Mini box was compact, and inside, we got the main camera and some basics with the USB dual-port car charger. So we slid the Mini into the bracket behind our rearview mirror, threaded the cable along the headliner, and honestly, it didn't block our view at all. Pairing it with the app was easy too. Just connect to its Wi-Fi, enter the password, and we were ready to go. Torvo TD3, meanwhile, came with a bit more in the box. We found the main unit, which felt well balanced in hand. The buttons are right here beneath the screen. And yeah, they're easy to press, not overly stiff. In a separate compartment, there was the rear camera with a cable long enough to fit most cars. The box also included a power cable for the cigarette lighter port, an electrostatic sticker, a user manual, and a 64 gigs of memory card already included, which is a nice addition at this price. Now, mounting it behind the mirror was simple, and tucking the cables through trim panels took only a few minutes. Connecting the app was seamless, and having a live display on the camera itself made the setup feel a bit more interactive. When we first got both of these dash cams, the difference in design was totally noticeable. The Torvo TD3 immediately felt more substantial in hand. It has this 3.2-inch IPS LCD screen up front, which we actually liked. We can see exactly what is recording and adjust angles without guessing. Now, comparing that with the DDPai Mini, well, the Mini has no display at all. Yeah, it's compact and tiny, which is great if you want a stealthy look, but honestly, sometimes we miss having a quick preview. And adjusting angles or checking if it's recording right requires pulling out your phone, which can be a little annoying. Now, in terms of build, both feel solid but differently. Torvo's buttons are tactile without being stiff, and the camera has a nice weight that makes it feel durable. The Mini, on the other hand, is very light and compact, which is nice for discreet mounting, but for us it does feel a bit more plasticky when we hold it. When we compared both dash cams side by side, the difference in overall image quality became pretty obvious right away. The DDPai Mini records at 1600p, while the Torvo TD3 pushes that up to 4K at the front. On paper, that already sounds like a big jump, but in real-world use, we could actually see it. The Torvo's footage looks sharper, especially when you pause the video or zoom in on details like license plates or street signs. The field of view is wider with more than 2 and 3 lanes being captured. With the DDPai, we often noticed the image starting to soften a bit when lighting conditions changed. Not terrible, but definitely not as crisp. Color-wise, the DDPai produces slightly warmer tones, which gives footage a softer look, but sometimes that means losing finer details. The Torvo, meanwhile, keeps things more neutral and natural. We appreciated how it handled contrast during bright daylight, while the DDPai sometimes struggled to balance that. At night, we got an even clearer difference. The DDPai's f1.8 aperture does help with brightness, but when the road got really dark, the image picked up noise and some blur. But here, we must say, the Torvo TD3's Starlight Night Vision did noticeably better. Headlights weren't overexposed, and license plates stayed readable even from a distance. We found the WDR on the Torvo to be more consistent too. It didn't wash out highlights the way the DDPai sometimes did under streetlights. The rear camera comparison was also one-sided. The DDPai doesn't come with one, while the Torvo gives a 1080p rear unit. It's full HD, but honestly feels sharper than what we usually see at this price point. And the field of view is wide enough for a rear camera, and we can see how it captures more than one lane behind your car pretty well. Now this is where the personality of each dash cam really shows. Starting with connectivity, the DDPai Mini doesn't use Bluetooth. It creates its own Wi-Fi network. We found this convenient in that anyone near the car can connect easily, but at the same time it can feel a bit slow if you're trying to preview or download clips on the go. The Torvo TD3, on the other hand, has built-in GPS. Plus, it connects over 5G Wi-Fi through the Vidger app, and we immediately noticed a smoother, faster experience. Live previews feel almost real-time, and downloading footage is quite quicker. We appreciated that right away, especially when reviewing long drives. Looking at app features, the DDPai Mini app is quite straightforward. We can adjust settings, view live feed, and download clips, but it's very minimal. We got what we expected, but sometimes it feels a little basic. The Torvo app, in contrast, feels polished and practical. We can adjust resolution, loop recording, rear mirror mode, and even lock clips directly from the app. We found it really intuitive, and being able to access almost all camera settings without touching the dash cam itself is a big plus. So basically, for simple, minimal users, the DDPai app does its job. But for us, having that smoother connection, quick downloads, and in-depth app control on the Torvo just makes the daily experience much more satisfying. In our daily driving, both cams proved reliable, but in slightly different ways. With the DDPai Mini, we got a cam that's low maintenance. We appreciated how discreet it is, and for short trips around the city, it captured everything we needed. The rotatable lens meant we could quickly check cabin footage too, which was handy. But we also noticed that sometimes connecting to the app to preview clips took a few extra seconds, and having no display meant we couldn't adjust angles on the fly. Now, here the Torvo TD3 felt a bit more in control for everyday use. We loved that we could glance at the display to check framing immediately, or switch between front and rear views in seconds. The loop recording was smooth, and the G-sensor and motion detection parking mode worked consistently without false triggers, something we noticed happens occasionally with the DDPai. The supercapacitor also gave us peace of mind in hot weather. We never worried about heat affecting performance. So which one should you pick? Well, it really comes down to what matters most to you. The DDPai Mini still holds value, especially if you love a tiny dashcam. It's compact, and we really appreciate its rotatable lens and decent daytime image quality. But the Torvo TD3 clearly impressed us more. We found the combination of 4K front recording, solid rear footage, and that handy display made life much easier. The app works smoothly, the loop recording and G-sensor features are reliable, and the supercapacitor design gives extra durability for long-term use. Basically, the Torvo gave us confidence. Every trip, every parking mode trigger, and every clip felt well captured and sharp. In comparison, the DDPai feels more minimal, but lacks that instant feedback and premium feel. So if we had to choose one to keep, we must say, we'd lean toward the Torvo TD3. It just feels more complete and practical without being complicated or expensive. Alright, that's a wrap on today's comparison. Which one would you love to choose? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.